To get started editing a video, you're going to want to open the iMovie program. Once the program is open, you're going to see a screen that looks like this. Here you can see any videos that you are working on or videos that you have finished. I don't have a lot on this computer right now, but I'm going to click on Create a New Video. Here you can see two options to create a trailer or a movie. I'm going to go ahead and click on Movie, and it opens a screen that looks like this. Here on the bottom of the iMovie screen is where we will be doing all of our editing. So things like video files, music, any voiceovers that we do, all of that will show up on the bottom of the screen and will be edited here. On the top left of the screen, you have a menu for importing your files, things like audio and video, titles, backgrounds, and transitions. On the right-hand side, you have your preview screen. So there are also some tools on the top here that will come in handy for us coming up. One of the ways to find video files that you have recorded is to go up to File in the iMovie program and then Insert Media. This will pull up any of the folders or places on your computer where things may be stored. So you can see all of your folders, your music, your photos, your videos. I think one of the easiest things to do is to go to your Finder. This is how I usually choose to import my videos. From my Finder, I can get to my documents or my downloads. I know that I just created this video, so it's going to be in my recent folder, and I'm just going to drag and drop it into this screen. This happens to be a very small space to work with, so I'm going to go over to the slider and move it a little bit to the right. This shows me a more stretched out view of my video, and I can go back and see any specific places that I might want to work on while I'm editing. You can use the scroll bar at the bottom of your iMovie screen to scroll through and see different sections of the video. One of the things that I like to do every time I start editing is to go up to the volume slider here on the bottom of my video, and I bring it down to 0. Personally, I do not like to try and give instructions during my video. There's too many times when the bell has rung at school or when I give a direction that I want to change, and it's hard to go back and backtrack. I'd rather add the voiceover while I'm editing, so I'll show you how to do that shortly. The next thing I like to do when I'm editing is go through and see if there are any parts of the video that really don't need to be there that I can just cut out. A lot of the time I am getting things ready or I forget something. I might run across the room and grab something while the video is still going. Maybe someone walks in my room and you can see that on the video. So we don't really need that. Here I notice that there's a little bit of downtime between me waving to my students and getting started. So I want to cut that out. I am going to click on the start of the section I want to edit. I'm going to go up to Modify at the top of my screen, and I'm going to look for Split Clip. This will cut my video where my white line or my cursor is. It is the Command B shortcut on the computer keyboard, so if you are a person that loves shortcuts, Command B will be your friend. Here you can see that the video is split where my cursor was clicked. I'm going to make sure that I move this line over to the end of the section that I want to get rid of. I'm going to make sure I click and then go back up to Modify, or again, Command B to split that clip into a section that I can then get rid of. Now I'm going to go back up to Modify and Split Clip again, or Command B on the keyboard. And now you can see that there's a new section of my video that is split, and that is the section I want to get rid of. I want to make sure that is highlighted in yellow. That shows me the section that I am selecting and that I'm working on. I can go up to File at the top of my screen, and I can cut it if I want to move it somewhere else, or simply delete. I can also hit delete on my keyboard. It does the same thing. There it goes. that section of my video is no longer there. Again, I like to start by going through my videos and double checking to make sure there's no content that I'd like to cut from the video before I start doing my voiceover and adding sound effects and music and other things like that. I just created this video, so I know that there's not a lot of extra fluff there that I need to get rid of. When I am ready to record, I am going to go up and click on this little microphone. This little microphone is going to bring up the record function, and you can see that this little red button here is ready to go. I am going to make sure my cursor is where I want it to be, and that is going to be the place where my recording starts. You will get a countdown when you press the button. Hi artists! Today we will be making a sunset cityscape. Let's get our supplies ready. Now that I'm done recording, I can hit stop. I can go up here to my viewing screen. I can push play. Hi artists! Today we will be making a sunset cityscape. Let's get our supplies ready. When you record, you're going to see that green dialog box show up. I'm going to move along to the next section of my video where I would like to record a voiceover for my students. I'm going to make sure I click right where I would like the recording to start, and then I'm going to go up to the microphone and hit record again. You will have lots of pieces of pre-cut paper. If you would like to change the shape, you may use your scissors to do that. I am going to cut a pointed roof for one of my buildings. Don't throw away those little scraps. You might want to use them later, so please put them back in the box. So now I have two green boxes or two sections where I have recorded. As long as I have highlighted this section, I can move it around. I think I'm actually going to move it back a little bit because I noticed it's getting into the gluing portion of my video, and I'd like to do something else a little bit different there. One of the things that I really like to do to bolster students' engagement is add sound effects. So I am going to go up to the top of the iMovie screen to audio and video, and I'm going to make sure that I have sound effects highlighted. There's lots of different music and sound effects you can add to your videos. One of the things that you can do is sort the sound effects by genre if there's something specific that you are looking for. Some of these are just really fun. You can also search for something specific up here in the search bar. So now I'm going to make sure that I am around the section where I want to add a sound effect. Here I'm rolling up the glue stick. I don't want my students to do that, so I put in a booing sound. I'm going to drag it and just drop it where I would like it to go. Now, I know from personal experience that the sound effects are quite loud compared to the audio I'm adding, so I am going to use that little volume slider to bring the volume down. Then I can go up here to my preview and test it out. So in this section of my video, I'm essentially showing my students what I would like them to do and not to do. So I'm going to add a cheering sound after the booing sound. So we roll it up, we boo, we roll it down where I would like it to be, and they get a cheer. Now let's test it out again and see how it sounds. I find this is just a fun way to help students remember, especially my younger kiddos. Another thing I really love to add to my videos is a fun transition, which you just saw there. Sometimes I transition between materials or different aspects of a project that I would like to show them. So again, I'm going to highlight the section I would like to cut or add a transition to. I go up to transitions under the iMovie menu, and then you can see all the different transitions that are available to you. When you find a transition that you would like to use, you can simply drag and drop into that split. You can test it out in your video by simply dragging your cursor over the split, and you can see it in the preview. Another thing I like to do in my edits is to create a time lapse or to speed up my video. This way students can see the process, but they don't have to sit and watch the whole thing and waste a lot of our art time. I need to split the section that I would like to speed up. So I'm going to go up to Modify and Split Clip where I want the section to start. And then I'm going to go to the end and split the clip again where I'd like that speed to stop and go back to normal. Once my clip is split and I make sure it is highlighted so I know that's the section I'm working on, I go up to this little clock icon. The clock gives me options about speeding up or slowing down. So I'm going to select fast, and then I can select how fast I want the video to be going. So you can see here that I am going at double the speed that I was before. You can see this little rabbit icon down here on this video clip, and that shows that this clip is sped up. As long as this clip is highlighted, I can go back and edit the speed. So here I've selected 8 times as fast, and now you can see I'm going very speedily through this cutting and gluing process. If you have a section of your video that you would like to slow down instead of speed up, you can do that as well. I often will do that if I'd like to really highlight something that I want the students to see. So again, I'm going to split the clip into the section that I'd like to slow down. I'm using Command B. I'm making sure that it is highlighted, and then I'm going to go back up to my options, and I'm going to choose slow instead of fast. And there's a lot of different options for just how slow or how fast you would like that clip to go. Now, instead of the rabbit, when I slow down my video, I get this turtle icon. So that shows me that that clip is going more slowly than the rest of my video. Again, I love to do this, particularly at the end, so that they can see the finished product, or in another section of the video where I'd really like to highlight what I'm doing for my students. One of the last things that I do when I'm editing is add music. My students love when I add music to my videos, and they will often bop their heads along. I do this by searching on Google for the YouTube audio library. It's the first thing that comes up. It will bring you to this page with lots of royalty-free music for you to add to your videos. I find it easiest to search for a song that I want by mood. So I will click on calm or happy or bright or whatever I think the vibe for my video should be. And then I have a list of songs that might apply. I think it's always a good idea to skip ahead a little bit and test out the song in case there's some lyrics. There's usually not, but once you find one you like, you can download and it will show up at the bottom of your screen. I am simply going to drag and drop this download into the iMovie program. I am going to take this audio file that I dropped and I'm going to drag it to the beginning of my video because I want it to start when my video starts. I like to lower the volume on my music clips to be lower than my voice. So somewhere between 40 and 20% is usually where I leave it, and then I test it out. Hi artists! Today we will be making a sunset cityscape. Let's get our supplies ready. One of the things I love about iMovie is this little tool here. I can drag this forward to create sort of a lead in to my music. So it will start softly and then get louder as it goes along. So let's test that. Hi artists! Today we will be making a sunset cityscape. Let's get our supplies ready. Now I'm going to go ahead and scroll to the end of my video because I know that the song was a little bit longer than my video actually is. So I'm going to use that split clip or Command B again to split that piece that I do not want. You'll notice that it's going to pop up into this top section where most of my voiceover is. iMovie really likes to fill in the blank spots, so I always like to double check and make sure that things are where I actually want them to go. So I can highlight this and then I can simply delete. Now my audio clip will stop when my video stops. It's kind of an abrupt end to the music though, and that's not always pleasant. So again, I'm going to use this little slider. I'm going to move it in the other direction so that when I am listening, you can hear that the audio is sort of going to trail off, and I think it makes a more pleasant ending to the video. So at this point, my video is pretty much done. I am going to go back and just double check that things are where I want them to be. I can still move things around as long as I highlight them. And I can also go ahead and watch a full screen preview if I want to. Hi artists! Today we will be making a sunset cityscape. Let's get our supplies ready. I think one last fun thing to do is add a title to your videos. If you go up to the menu at the top of the iMovie program, you can click on title and then there are lots and lots of different options. If you roll your cursor over these options, you can get a little preview of what they would look like, and they pop up on top of your video that is already there in the editing screen. So here I'm just rolling over a few to give you some of the ideas of different styles of titles that you can add to your videos. There are many different options here, and you do have the ability to change the font or the size or the color, but you can't really move where that title is going to show up on the screen. So that is really what this preview is showing you, is where it's going to be on the screen while you're watching your video. So one of my go-to title choices is up here close to the top. I just like the way that it sort of rolls in and out of the video while the students are watching. So I'm just going to simply drag and drop where I would like it to be. When I roll over it here with my mouse, you can see a little preview. And then if I double click on it, I'm going to get to the options for editing the actual text that is there. So I'm going to bring my cursor up to my preview screen. I'm going to make sure that that's highlighted, get rid of it, just simply delete, and then type in what I would like it to say. While this is highlighted or selected, I can go up to the top. I can change the size. I can change where the orientation is. I can change the font. I can also change the color of the text. So there's lots of different things that I can do with my title. Up here in the little color palette, I can change it. I can then look and get a little preview of what it will look like and see if I can actually see it on top of the video. Sometimes different colors blend in. It's easier to see one than another, so it's always good to test it out. I think I'm going to go back and I'm going to change this back to white. I think that's the best option. So I'm simply going to go back to my preview screen. I'm going to select white, and then I'm going to test that out and see if that's better. So I think that I am happy with the white. I'm going to leave that the color that it is. As long as this title bar is highlighted, I can move it around. I can make it longer or shorter by dragging the end of that title box. And you can see the time is changing as I am moving it around, so I can make it longer or shorter. I think I'm going to leave it a little bit shorter, see if I like it, and then I can always change it if I want to. I think I will go back and add a little bit more time to that title. So again, I'm just going to drag the end of that title bar and make it longer. This will allow for some of my readers to have a little more time to pick up on that title while it's playing. I think I'm happy with that, so I will leave it there and move on. Now that my video is done, I am ready to save this file. I am going to go up to the top corner to this share button, and I like to hit the YouTube and Facebook button. It doesn't mean it's going directly there, it just means it's ready for those kinds of platforms. It gives you an option to put a title on your video. I like to put in a title and a description so that when I roll over the icon, I know exactly what the video was. Sometimes the little picture doesn't always give you great details. Then I'm going to go ahead and click OK. I get an option of where I want this to be saved. You can do it directly to a place on your computer, or you could keep it on your drive. I'm going to save it right on my desktop this time, and then I'm ready to go. This little circle shows me that my video is uploading. When the video is done uploading, I am going to get a notification that pops up right in the corner that says my share was successful. Then I can see it's right on my desktop where I asked it to go. Now that my video is done and I have saved it as a video file, I could upload it to my Google Drive, or I personally have a YouTube channel that I like to add my videos to. This way I can access them whenever or wherever I need to, and then my students also have access to them at home. I've done a few more edits on this video in my own time using the tools that I've showed you today. So let's take a look at the finished product. Hi artists! Today we will be making a sunset cityscape. Let's get our supplies ready. You will have lots of pieces of pre-cut paper. If you would like to change the shape, you may use your scissors to do that. I am going to cut a pointed roof for one of my buildings. Don't throw away those little scraps. You might want to use them later, so please put them back in the box. When I'm gluing today, I want to make sure that I don't roll up my glue stick more than I actually need to. When I am gluing, I'm going to do it on the back of my black paper that I want to attach. I'm going to line it up on the bottom of my paper because I don't want my buildings floating up in the air. Notice that I'm really using my fingers to press my black paper onto my background to give that glue a little time to grab on. While I am working, I am thinking about a variety of shapes that I can add to my artwork. I am making sure that my buildings are very close together on my page. Most of them are touching or overlapping because a lot of the time when we see a cityscape, there's not a lot of space between all of these big, tall buildings. When you are done with your artwork today, please make sure that you put all of your materials back in the correct spot. Your space should be clean and tidy for the next friend. Have fun, artists, and be creative. And that is it. Thank you so much for attending my presentation today. I hope this information has helped you become more confident using iMovie to create videos for your own classroom. If you'd like to check out more videos that I have made, you can go to mskaysartclass.com, and that links directly to my YouTube channel. Also, my Instagram handle is Have Fun, Be Creative, if you would like to check that out and see what's going on in my elementary art room. Again, my name is Gwen Kovacic. Thank you so much for coming today.